What you want? Tell me what you need. I need that good stuff. Where's it at though? I gotta go where? So I'm driving all through Dallas, Wonderland, hooked up with Alice, and I'm feeling pretty lavish. On a high note, Whitney Ballot ain't been on a diet, but the main course is the salad. Talking green, I'm talking green, me machine acting out on full scene.
What's good, great people? I am Ezel Moon, and I have a special guest in the building today. Well, really, I'm in her building at the Weed Spot. I have the owner, the Honorable April. Thank you so much for having me today. Thank you so much for allowing me into your place, and thank you again for your time.
Absolutely, welcome, welcome.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into the questions that I have for you, because I know that you're already open, and I've already seen a customer come in. So, not gonna hold you up too much. So, what are some of the challenges that you faced when you were first opening up the Weed Spot?
Well, I mean, honestly, it was the stigma of my friends and family who were trying to understand like what this was going to be and what it was going to be about and what I was going to promote.
And so that you felt like that stigma was what was the main hindrance, but you overcame it though, and I see that it's an amazing place here.
Thank you.
So, was there anything else besides that stigma that you had to fight through, or?
That was the biggest thing. I mean, even here in the neighborhood that we're located in,
right.
You can imagine if somebody's popping up with a shop called the Weed Spot, you want to know what's going on here.
Right, because there's children, and you don't.
Yeah, it's children, right. And not only that, just the whole look and feel of the neighborhood, And so just kind of proving to the community that, don't judge us just by the name. Right. Just come and figure out what we're about.
Of course. And, it's funny that, it's kind of like a don't judge a book by its cover, actually read the book first, I like that. So, on your website, like right when you click on the Are You Over 21, you have your goal posted right there, and it says that it's to provide our customers with the best possible hemp shop products and purchasing experience. How do you feel like you're doing that?
So we source all of our products from farms, small farms, preferably, and very reputable sources. And I've said this before in interviews, but 85% of the hemp that's produced and sold in America is imported, and we try to make sure that we only get products that are sourced in the United States.
Nice.
And it's reasons for that. Sometimes the cheaper products are inferior. They're mixed and they're cut with other things, and so they're not in their purest form. So the user doesn't get the benefit of the best CBD. That's why you'll hear some people say, "Oh, I tried it, it was terrible, it didn't work for me." And then my first question is, well, where did you get it from? Because that's typly, right, because that honey stick got you believing in honey sticks right now.
That honey stick made me feel a whole lot. As you guys can see, got a big old smile on my face. I do feel amazing right now, and I appreciate you for that. And I did have a prior experience with CBD, and I know I mentioned this earlier where I ordered it on Groupon. And now that you tell me this, I'm like, you know what? I didn't really enjoy it, So your product is better because you know exactly where it's coming from.
And what's in it. We have what we call certificate of analysis on each product, or we call them COAs, and it tells us the content and the makeup of each product. We test for pesticides, molds, heavy metals, all of those things, just to make sure that you're getting a pure product, because if it's not effective, you won't want to use it again, or you won't feel the need to. And so that's kind of what makes us really, really, really different. We don't sell anything that's not good for you. We don't sell anything that's not organic. I mean, except these chips that we have, but
Talking about the wrap snacks?
yeah. Those are not good for you, but they taste amazing.
Yeah.
And we're giving them away, so we're not even selling them.
Okay, makes sense. Make sure y'all come down and get your wrap snacks.
Yeah, get some wrap snacks.
Oh, and Lil Boosie, let me interview you. So I noticed that you also have a variety of classes as well, and I love that you guys are trying to positively impact the community. I saw that you guys have guided meditation classes, yoga, musical performances, cryotherapy, therapeutic massages. Now, you touched on it earlier, but how has the community embraced you and what you're trying to do?
Well, it just seems like people just get it.
Right.
So those were pre-COVID initiatives.
Right.
And we had to put all of that stuff on hold for right now, including like the karaoke, the game nights. All of that's been put on hold for right now, but hopefully we can pick that up and keep it going soon. But the community has been absolutely amazing. We've had nothing but, I would say, primarily positive experiences. And like, my goal was always to give people the best shopping experience, the best customer service, the best products that they could get.
Now, the Denver Post reported, despite legalization, people of color still disproportionately are targeted for marijuana. How do you feel CBD can help people of color in combating these situations?
I mean, to be honest with you, I know people want that gas, but if you've never tried CBD, you wouldn't really understand how much of a risk that people are taking selling marijuana when there's really not a big difference in the effects. To answer your question about people of color, this is a legal avenue to supply people with the medicine that they need without putting your life or your livelihood in jeopardy, because it's not worth it.
Most definitely. I noticed on your website as well that they had part of the frequently asked questions was, does it show up on a drug test? And if I'm not mistaken, I think the response was like you have to have ingested at least like 2,500 milligrams or something like that.
So let me answer that for you. There are 3 different kinds of CBD.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, there's a CBD isolate, where they take the plant and they isolate just the CBD from it. There's no potential possibility of that showing up on a drug test, right? So if you walk in here and you say, hey, I need something that will not show up on a drug test, we will take you right to the products that are isolate based. Then we have broad spectrum that has all of the cannabinoids in there except THC. You can use that one. Now, there is a likelihood of a false positive, but it's very, very low. So you can use a broad spectrum pretty freely. Most of my families, especially families that have kids with autism or ADHD, use broad spectrum products because it trains the brain to figure some things out that especially when it relates to processing and comprehension. Like it slows the brain down so those synapses are firing when they need to, right on time. And then you have a full spectrum product that contains all of the cannabinoids. And now they're coming out with the total spectrum, which is insane. I mean, like none of the cannabinoids are lost. But basically we have those 3. We have one product that's a total spectrum, but you have CBD isolate, no to drug test. You have the broad spectrum, 98% no to a drug test. And then you have the full spectrum, and that's about a 90 to 93% pass, like you won't. You'd have to ingest a lot.
Gotcha.
So if you're gonna get the same feeling or a similar feeling, like you should try CBD. And like I said, it's legal, so they can pull you over all day long. It's hemp flower.
appreciate this knowledge that you're giving me. Sincerely, like, thank you for that. I'm definitely gonna leave here today with the purchase. So I was watching a prior interview that you did, and you mentioned that you're really into holistic health, and that's a passion of yours. So where does that stem from?
Oh my gosh, I have a background of I started off as a teacher.
Hey.
I'm a diag. Yeah, I am. I know, right? Just all the things that surprise you about a person. And then I have some exit level degrees in public health. So I just learned that natural is always better when it relates to the body. Like the plants that grow are designed in part to be medicine or nutrition for our bodies. And we have to figure out what their uses are. Because pharmaceutical drugs, a lot of times, you take them for one thing, but they cause 12 other problems. And you'll see virtually very, very few side effects with cannabis products. And you can take them freely.
You yourself, though, you also have other business ventures that you're working on. Can you enlighten us about them? Like, how else can we support you?
Well, I own a company called Ability Solutions, and it's a rehab company. So we do vocational rehabilitation. We work with the VA, Texas Workforce Commission, Health and Human Services. We work with a bunch of government agencies to help people get back to work, essentially, and stay working. I also co-own a company called Southern Home Ventures, and we build new construction in Oak Cliff.
Ooh, yeah, we definitely want to make sure that happens, so that they can support anything. That's the goal.
Thank you.
All right. No, not a problem. I love the things that you're doing. I love the fact that you're actually educating in so many different ways. That's amazing. So, okay, I have to ask. This one is off. We'll probably hit this one out. Does CBD? How does it affect your memory?
It enhances your memory.
It enhances your memory?
Yes. CBD makes everything better.
Gotcha.
That's a rule of thumb. It makes everything better. It doesn't make anything you add it to it amplifies or enhances.
Gotcha. I noticed that because I was in my perusing and reading about CBD, I heard that they were doing some research in regards to the COVID-19 and the inflammation in the lungs, and how CBD has actually positively impacted, and like reduced the inflammation inside the lungs. What do you think is on the horizon for CBD?
I think that, it's growing into a multi-billion-dollar industry because people are realizing that natural medicine is always better. The endocannabinoid system that runs from your brain, your spinal cord, to all your major organs in your body, CBD speaks to those. When you put cannabis inside your bodies, and even your pets, our bodies are already wired to accept these cannabinoids. Now, we can find them in other things like pepper, but we tend not to eat enough of the right things to get a good mix. So since cannabis is so concentrated in cannabinoids, once we start ingesting these things, then our body gets to kind of realign itself.
So the goal of the show is not only to support you and your business, it's also to get people that are watching to help any charity, nonprofit, something that you support personally. What charity or nonprofit or organization do you want to spotlight today, and why is the cause that you face so important to you?
So I am a big fan of domestic abuse shelters. And if you know of any, support them all. Because they do.
Woman Called Moses.
Yes, that's a really, really good one. If you know of any, support them all because they do amazing work with these families and these children, and especially with everything related to COVID right now. You're seeing more people at home, you're seeing more instances of child abuse and neglect, and you're seeing more instances of domestic violence occurring. So right now, like it's a time to really, really support the shelters.
We'll be including some of this below video to make sure that help out those shelters that are currently in the area. I really appreciate you spotlighting as well. Thanks. Lastly, before we close out, what words of wisdom would you have for any young ladies out there that are inspired by serial entrepreneurs like yourself?
That the only limitations you really, really have are the ones you place on yourself. Because I made all the mistakes that anybody would say that you can't make in order to be successful. I had a baby young, I did all of those things. And so I was just determined to not fail. And I just made up my mind that no matter what it took, I was just going to work hard to get there. And so I would just tell anybody that whatever you want, you can achieve.
You guys, make sure you guys check out the Weed Spot. Any socials that they can follow you on or follow the Weed Spot on?
Yes, all of our social media handles are IG, our Facebook, and Twitter, weedspot.us. So,
come to the Weed Spot, y'all. What's the address?
502 North Madison Avenue, Dallas, Texas, 75208.
So make sure I can check you. Make sure I see you guys at the Weed Spot, 502 North Madison Avenue.
Yes.
In Dallas. Y'all pull up, man. It's actually really nice.
Pull up.
Like for real, like
pull up.
You guys gotta come in here. And wait till y'all see what the videographer did to like capture all the different spots. It's amazing. Once again, you guys, I'm Ezel. I'm not doing it unless it's fun and it helps people. Thank you again, April. And I hope you guys have the best amazing day.
Thank you for watching.